Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown battle. And in this game I'm featuring a new Rain Dance team, and the two stars of this team are my very beloved Fossil Kanto Pokemon, Kanto Fossil Pokemon. Well, I used them back in 4th Gen in Pokemon Battle Revolution Form E, and I used them in double battles. And they worked more effectively in double battles because one Pokemon could set up the rain while the other one could, dish out some mean attacks simultaneously. While in single battles, you have to set up the rain first turn, switch out, or sacrifice your rain setup and hope that you can sweep in enough turns to end the game quickly. It is practically a hyper-offensive team, but I do have some pieces, a hint of defenses, physical being in Donphan and special being in Florges. You know how much I love this thing. And Galvantula is here to take advantage of the rain and spam Thunder. And Tornadus is a very useful Pokemon. With Prankster, I can get Rain up 100% sure, no matter what my opponent has. If they're Scarfed, I don't care, I can get the Rain up. And if they decide to kill me, then I can send in one of my guys and do the job. This is a Kanto Fossil Pokemon Onslaught. 2 battles, each one devoted to Omastar and Kabutops respectively. One is a special sweeper, and the other is a physical sweeper. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into this battle. Now, my opponent is going to lead with Lowland Persian, and that thing is annoying, very annoying. Even in the game Pokemon Sun that I played, it is very annoying and difficult to take out. So it goes to the Parting Shot, which is kind of annoying because it reduces my attack and special attack. So I wanted to get out of there because I knew that I couldn't do much. So Quillfish gets in here. I'm going to send in my Kabutops just to add a little bit of pressure. I go for the knockoff, and I wanted to take that Espeon out with knockoff. But anyway, Quillfish is a very good defensive Pokemon, and I've been owned by this Pokemon before by the insane gamers in the battle that we had, and I am not going to underestimate it this time. So I taunt it out of here, and I'm going to go for the Rain Dance this turn, provided that I do not get paralysis, and that is good. You see, this is why Prankster is so useful. It ignores paralysis practically and lets you get hacked. So Donphan comes in here. It's not going to take a Hidden Power Ice very well, so I'm going to go for the Protect to see what this Raikou goes for. I think it's Scarfed. It must be Scarfed. Most Raikous are Scarfed. So my phone's practically going crazy. So anyway, I go for an Earthquake, and my physical wall goes and takes out the Espeon, which is great. So Persian comes in here, gets the Toxic up, and Donphan is annoyed by the Toxic, but sets up the Stealth Rocks, which is always good. And Florges comes in here and can deal with this Persian because Persian, the Dark type, is not as good as the old traditional Kanto one. So I'm going to set up an Aromatherapy to get rid of the status with my Florges because paralysis could be a factor. And since I do have my Tornadus intact, I want to be able to use it if I get the rain down like here, just in case I need to set the rain up again. So I go with the Sticky Web just in case, I want to get that Raikou slowed down, make its Scarf useless. So I go for the Volt Switch. I don't do too much to that Raikou, and my Facebook Messenger is going crazy here. So I'm going to go set into my Donphan, and unless my opponent goes for Hidden Power Ice again, they can do nothing to me. So I take advantage of them needing to switch out because I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin and get those Toxic Spikes away. So if I get rid of that Quillfish, that is pretty much the annoying Pokemon out of the way. So in comes Tornadus again. My opponent goes for the Foul Play, does just under half. And I'm telling you, a Lowland Persian can be annoying. So my opponent's going to send in their Quillfish. They are slowered. They've got Stealth Rocks all over the face. So the entry hazards are very important for me. So I go for a Hurricane on Tornadus, which is fantastic. It can deal a lot of damage. And right now, I have set up the rain, and I want my Tornadus to die to this Raikou. So I go for a Hurricane, hoping for maybe Confusion Hacks. I don't get it. That's no problem. Confusion or Flinch, I don't know what Hurricane does. I'm pretty sure it does both, or one of the two. So in comes the star of the game. Speaking of star, Omastar. And he goes for the Earth Power. I haven't changed its set since Generation 4. I have Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, and use each of these moves respectively, and I also have Rain Dance in case I have to set up again. So I use Earth Power to kill Raikou, I use Ice Beam to kill Zygarde, which is fantastic. I have a very diverse move pool. I can even one-shot this annoying Persian out of existence. That's 3 Pokemon out of the way, and in comes Crobat, and this is the late game sweep. My opponent goes for the Cross Poison. It really doesn't matter. My opponent cannot do anything to me. This Crobat cannot touch me. And Omastar with a Life Orb is enough to destroy worlds, ladies and gentlemen. This Pokemon is, oh man, this thing, I just love it so much. Anyway, so let us quickly get into the second game of today's match. The second match of today's episode, where Kabutops gets to sweep some stuff. And speaking of which, here he is, the same team on the upper right on your screen. So let's get into this battle. My opponent could send out their Kingdra, hoping that I send in my Tornadoes for some reason, maybe to take advantage of the rain. So that's why I lead with my Florges to threaten with a Moonblast. So they don't have anything that resists it. So using Togekicks here. Taking a Moonblast is not bad. So I know that Togekicks is going to want to go for a Thunder Wave onto my Florges, and that is why I go for the Galvantula switch. I read my opponent beautifully there, I believe. So I go for the Thunder, hoping to get some power hacks onto the Kingdra. And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, Kingdra, it can be a very dangerous Pokemon. It's a physical variant, which is very respectable, and I get a useless critical hit with Thunder on Galvantula. Imagine if Kingdra had Aqua Jet. Oh man, possibilities. So I'm fearing that this Spearow is scarfed, and it looks like it is banded because it did a lot of damage onto my Donphan, considering it's a Spearow, and Donphan has very good defenses. Spearow is not that great offensively in UU, but oh well. So my opponent's going to go for the Shell Smash, and that is not good news for me, because it can go for Stone Edge, and it completely annihilates my Special Wall that I have no need of, because my opponent has some very weird Pokemon. I mean, I feel kind of bad for, sweeping them here, but I do set up the ring with Tornadoes, and this is where I'm going to punish my opponent. I'm going to go for the Waterfall, I'm going to take out the Barbaracle, and this is where Kabutops' sweep begins today. So I go for another Waterfall. Ariados lives with 2 HP, but Ariados, yet again, is a very bulky Pokemon. I go for the Aqua Jet, just in case it wants to go for the Sucker Punch, because I want my Kabutops' HP intact. And I go for a Rock Slide. I could have gone for the Waterfall, but I was hoping to flinch. My opponent goes for the Night Slash. Unpleasant is not something that I'm used to seeing, so I go for the Aqua Jet again. Kabutops has too much blood stained on his scissor-like hands, and I go for a Waterfall on the Spearow, ending this quick sweep. I know my opponent had some pretty underpowered Pokemon like Unpleasant and Spearow, but for them to actually have the balls to use them in UU, I congratulate them, but it's also very unfortunate for them that they used those 2 Pokemon in such a high tier, because they belong much lower, so they are going to have a hard time trying to adapt in UU. But, well, if PBR has taught me anything, it's that you can use any kind of Pokemon in battle. But that usually works for double battles, because anything can happen. Because in BGZ, for example, Pokemon that do very well in double battles can be like UUs and NUs and RUs in Smogon's tier. That is why those are two very different tiers indeed. So that's the battle for today. I hope you enjoyed my prehistoric resurrection of these 2 awesome Kanto Pokemon, and I hope I will be using them again in the future before I get bored with them, so I can showcase them in much cooler battles and in more difficult situations, because my opponent's last team, this one with the Unpleasant and Fear, wasn't that much of a big deal. I'm not trying to underestimate my opponent, but they're not that challenging to Kabutops, for example, because Kabutops is ranked higher. I've even seen Kabutops being used in OU battles by Shofu, so he must be good at something, right? So anyway, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care and goodbye. Thank you for watching.